I'm going to talk a little bit about why I started this page, this channel here on YouTube. I started using Seint makeup, cream makeup, a long time ago. It seems like it's been a long time ago. It's probably been about maybe 4 or 5 years. But I figured let me start and explain how this whole cream makeup system works. So this is going to be somewhat of a 2 or maybe a 3-part series on Seint makeup. And I just kind of wanted to share a little bit about how I just fell in love with this makeup and why it may be the one that maybe you're looking for. So if you're interested in listening to this series, keep watching. I'll see you in a minute.
If you're here, then you woke up today. And that is a blessing. Don't take that for granted. Don't waste it.
Okay, so the reason I wanted to make this series is because it can involve a lot of details, and I don't want this to be like a 2-hour video. Clearly, you have tons of things to do, but if I figured I can break this down into maybe about 20 minutes, give or take a few minutes, maybe it'll be a lot more easier to kind of to understand. I don't want to miss anything. So let me get started. Okay, Seint makeup. It's an odd name to start with. And it's not spelled Seint as an S-A-I-N-T, but Seint as an S-E-I-N-T. And it started out as mascara, the name of this company, and it was then changed over to Seint. So I was looking for something different for my makeup application. Clearly, I'm turning 60 in a few weeks. And when I first started to realize that I couldn't keep wearing the makeup I was wearing, and again, it was about maybe 5 or 6 years ago, it just wasn't landing properly on my face. I didn't like the way my face was looking with the traditional kind of makeup that I was using. And I've never been a huge makeup wearer, so to speak, but I would wear the average like foundation, right? And then like a little bit of color on your cheeks, maybe a little bit of lip color. You get the gist, right? But I wasn't happy with what I was what I was using. So along came this company that I came across here on YouTube actually, and I fell in love with it. Now I was very curious because I had never seen anything like it before at all in the market. And now 6 years, and the company's been around for more than that. There have been other companies that have followed somewhat of the trend, right? Cream makeup has now become, I think, a new thing. But not all cream makeups are created the same. I've tried a lot of other cream makeups and they just don't match up. Because I'm always curious to see, is there something new in the market that's going to be revolutionary, right? So, but it does not come anywhere near close. Seint cream makeup. Okay, I will try so many other things, as I said, but I always come back to this because it feels the most natural on my face, and I do have it on today. The next video, maybe it will be on more of an application of how I go about putting on the makeup, but I want to break down to you kind of like the first steps, what it is, how it works. So it is it's a 3-dimensional kind of way of looking at makeup, because our skin, our tones are just not one flat color, which is a concept I just never even thought about. When I thought of foundation, usually you have a foundation out there that you just put all over your face, but our faces aren't one tone, and our makeup shouldn't go on that way. Like, you should be addressing certain shades to even out certain tones and then kind of come to a conclusion that everything is well balanced out. Let me start off with the actual cream. So you get your tins, because it doesn't come in a compact, so to speak. It comes in a little bag just like this, and it has like the Seint logo on it. And you will have then a tin of your shade that will come in here. So out of your bag, however many you're ordering, it'll come in that little bag. all these creams. So like this is like the front label of the cream. They come in all different kind of designs. Like this is a lion here. There's some really pretty colors here. You have like some droplets of like a certain like rain droplets with a certain color. Here you have a little bit like of an ocean or just water background. They are gorgeous, the graphics that are on this tin. Now there's even a purpose for the actual lid to these tins. So at least hold on to one when you do end up getting it, and I'll tell you why. So it comes in this tin. Now this is one of our lip and cheeks colors. On the back of the tin, it actually has the name of the shade you're using, as well as a snippet of like the ingredients that's on the back. So you have they're called highlights, all of the tins, and you have clearly like your foundation, what we call foundation, your blush and your lips, your contour, your bronzer. They all come in this form of tin. Now, you may think to yourself, there's no way that is going to last me. Like you'll feel like you'll be purchasing the tins often because it doesn't feel like it's a lot. When you look next to like a bottle of, let's say, your typical foundation that you're buying over in the store. But it does go a long way because you're not using a lot. It's actually less is more theory works very well with this system. So this is one of the shades for like a foundation or a color corrector. And this tin here that would be for that will usually last between 3 to about maybe 3 to 4 months. Now, depending on how often you're wearing your makeup, whether you're doing it daily, like for me, I don't wear makeup every day, so mine will last a bit longer on the 4-month end, 5-month end. But if you are using it every day, it's about maybe 3 months. And you are grabbing, and we'll get to that on the application, very little of this product onto your brush when you're applying it, because truly less is more when it comes to this cream. So again, as far as the time length, 3 to 4 months for your foundation. I would say for like your contour and your bronzer, you're going way more. We don't use that clearly as much as on our face, only on certain areas. So about maybe then 5 to 6 months. And then your lip and your cheeks, right? Your blush colors, that can go from like 8-9 months up to a year. I have had certain shades, like I'll show you here, a couple of the shades. This one is one of the lip and cheek colors, and then I have here another lip cheek and color. So these will definitely last longer. You're just not using them a whole lot, right? It's just very little on your cheeks and on your lips, and so you're looking at easily a year. I don't think I've ever, and because I have so many other lip and cheek colors, they even last even longer than that. So there's a lot of products in this tin can that right off the bat, if you looked at it, you would think, I'm gonna go through that really quick, but you don't. Okay, so that is the length of time, how long it will last. So then you have like your palettes. Now there's many sizes of the palettes. You have from one of your smaller palettes, which is this one, and it holds 4 of those tins in here. Now I have mine as a shadow. Again, you can choose to use the palette however you like, however you're creating it. That's the beauty. One of the many beauty things about Seint is that it is so versatile how you're using this makeup in so many different ways. The tins along with the palettes are magnetized, so you can pull these out and rearrange them however you choose. This is the smallest, one of the smaller palettes that carries the 4 tins across. The next size, and this is, I believe, one of the more common palettes that usually people start off with. And I say start off with because you can hold more on this one. It has 2 layers on this one, okay? So with a mirror. So this one does have a mirror and the other one does too. So this would be considered a number 4, and that's how they're named for the most part, by numbered. So this one would hold 12, and it would be called like the number 12. And then you have like a larger one, which is just in larger size, but it's also a double. And this one would holds 6, 9, 12, 7, 18, I believe. Let me see. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Yeah, so this one holds 18. And we even have larger palettes than that, right? So I believe that this here is like the very best palette to start off with, because you can build on what you first start off with. Usually I always say like you're gonna start off with your foundation, maybe one lip and cheek color, a bronzer if you want, or a contour. And then you decide to build from there, whether you want to add more lip and cheeks, or maybe you want to have one layer for the cream makeup and then use like your second level for maybe like your eyeshadows, because there are eyeshadows as well. So as I said, they are magnetized and they just slip out and slip on, really simple, and they don't fall out. I tell you, this was, I felt truly the reason why I wanted to then wear makeup again, because I was getting so discouraged when I was putting on my makeup and it just wasn't looking right. It was making my face just dried out. I can just see all of the makeup creasing into my finer lines. It just was not, it wasn't jiving anymore for me, my traditional kind of makeup, until I started to wear Seint makeup. Now, that being said, there is a learning curve. And I'll be very honest, when I first placed my order and I got all of my makeup, my tin, my palette, my brushes, I was excited and anxious at the same time. Anxious because I didn't know how to start or how to begin, which I will explain and show to you on another video, the easiest way to apply this makeup. And you can always refer back to it. Just pause it when you decide to get the makeup and go step by step, so that when you actually have your makeup on, you'll feel comfortable in it. But that being said, going back, I was anxious and there is a learning curve. So give yourself some grace when you do decide to start trying cream makeup, because it is going to go on differently than what you've been used to wearing. And the more you keep applying it and the more you keep playing with it, the more comfortable you will get with how it's supposed to look, and the more you're gonna love it. That being said, also is making sure that when you are ready to start, that you start with a really well clean face canvas, right? Like, you want to be doing a simple skincare routine so that the makeup will apply nicely. And that goes with any makeup, really. I sometimes I really believe that we think that makeup is going to be the answer all the time, and we have to remember, what are we doing underneath the makeup on a regular basis to get our skin to the right place that it needs to be, so that when we're putting something on our skin, it's gonna sit nicely on it. Okay, I'm gonna leave it here. Great place to stop. I think there's many more things I can continue to add, but on the next video, so come back next week, we're gonna get into applying the makeup a little and showing you how colors would go well with your skin tone, as well as just the application in itself. Hope you're ready to get on this journey with this new makeup, and let's stay tuned for next week with the application. Okay, don't forget to like, subscribe.